Hey y'all, this is Dr. Amy here. We're here for another conversation, so let's have a conversation. Our guest today is Mr. Eric Mchugh. Mr. Eric McHugh, you're from
I'm very blessed and I live in beautiful Southern California.
Southern California, 30 years old.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. McHugh, he spreads much positivity as possible. Mr. McHugh is an entrepreneur whose philosophy emphasizes the importance of simplicity, adaptability, a clear mind, which is translated well into the world of Web3 entrepreneurship. Eric specializes in leveraging his strategic thinking and adaptability to create innovative and effective solutions to the challenges facing this cutting industry. He's a fierce independence. He has fierce independence and commitment to self mastery, which made him a natural leader and role model for those seeking to live a life of purpose and freedom in the digital age. And this is what we're going to be talking about, the future of AI. What is AI? For those who don't really know what is AI and the purpose of AI, and also the Web3. So we're going to discuss that, y'all, because this is our future. And I'm going to let Mr. Eric take over if you want to introduce yourself a little more, and then we'll get into our discussion about AI and Web3.
Sure, Amy, thank you so much. I'm really grateful to be here and I'm really looking forward to this conversation. Like you mentioned, my name is Eric. I'm blessed to be living in beautiful Southern California. My main hobbies right now are chess, Muay Thai. I aggressively read anything I get my hands on. I love the sun and meditation. I just got back from a 10-day Noble Silence Vipassana meditation retreat in Joshua Tree, California. It was a beautiful, transformative experience. So if that's of interest to you, it's 10 full days. Everything's completely free. It's the method the Buddha used to reach enlightenment. Again, it's the amount of positive benefits have been just infinite. So great experience. In terms of college, I went to the University of California, Irvine, where I interned in Barcelona as a project manager and in Washington, D.C. as a government affairs consultant, which I found funny just because of how opposite those two work cultures are. Like in Barcelona, I'd show up like at 10 a.m. with sandals. I'd be the first one there. In Washington, D.C., you'd show up like 8:30. You have to wear like, your full suit and tie, and you'd be the last one there. My first, yeah, like especially like with the humidity, you're just like, oh, Jesus Christ, this is odd. But my first job, my first job out of college was at Snap Inc., helping craft their ad algorithm. And I chose this for two specific reasons. The first was location. So Snap's headquarters were in Venice Beach, and they didn't have one giant building. They bought a bunch of different smaller properties. So you walked around to different houses, different warehouses, and worked with a bunch of different work pods, which was a great learning experience. The other reason I chose was right before their IPO. So I wanted to be around that type of energy, seeing what it was like going through that. Right after that, I got a full 9 to 5 as a bankruptcy consultant. That's basically if a Fortune 500 company goes through the bankruptcy process, they work with the courts, the lawyers, and the consultants to appropriately move all the debt around. At that point in time, I was really getting deep into cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. I'm like, why is it important? Why does it matter? So I was reading, listening to podcasts, I had a group of friends that are into it, and it didn't align with the ethos of the consulting firm. Not because the firm was like bad or the people weren't nice. As a matter of fact, the firm was great. The people are kind and smart. It was more of a structural issue. So in a consulting or in a bankruptcy case, there are tiers of creditors or tiers of people who are owed money. So tier one, tier two, tier three, tier four. Tier one gets paid first, and then tier two gets paid second. Tier four gets like they get paid whatever's left over. And I'm sure you can imagine that tier four usually consists of me, you, the normal everyday people getting like pennies on the dollar often. And with normal consultant firms, the company will pay the firm from their profits. But for a bankruptcy consulting firm, you're getting paid from a pool of money that should have gone to, I think, the normal everyday people, which isn't like a problem with the firm. It's more of like a systematic thing that you can't even do anything about. So
Mm-hmm.
I quit that. I'm just like, okay, I'm going to work in Web3. How do I do this? I started going to cryptocurrency meetups in my general area, met the original SHOPX team. In the meantime, we started a VC-funded SaaS platform called CartRev. So what that did is replaced affiliate links. So if you're a brand on Shopify, you can add your products to our database, and then any user could sell any of your products from their link. So I could be like, okay, I like this Nike shoe, this Reebok shirt, this Adidas hat. I could add all three to a singular link, and then you or any of my followers or friends could purchase from my link in less than 4 clicks. You get a discount, I get a commission, brand gets a sale, and everyone's happy. So it was essentially an early version of TikTok shops. But yeah,
Oh,
that um that kind of went full cycle. All the knowledge went back into shop, which is really important because ShopX, what that is, it's the Google or Apple of Web3. We're a suite of products for an e-commerce brand to enter the Web3 space. So dealing with a SaaS platform that's worked exclusively with e-commerce brands, honestly, learning how to interact and deal with those brands was invaluable information. So the why behind ShopX is, I think the why is also really important. So my why is I would like to live a nice, peaceful life. I think a lot of people would. I think it's more difficult to do if the money system is inherently corrupt and taking money from everyone every second of every day. That led me to gold as the answer, which eventually led me to Bitcoin as the next evolution of gold. And ShopX is a way for me to onboard people into the ecosystem at scale. So, for example, if Nike or some major brand, Fox Studios is our biggest client with their new show Copopolis. But let's say Nike, they would offer NFT or Web3 products to their customer base. 1 million Nike customers purchase the product or NFT because they want the e-commerce utility attached to that NFT. That's a 0 to 1 moment for a lot of people. So right now we have two products live. The first is Reserve X, and that's a NFT powered loyalty program. So if you're a brand, you're on Shopify or WooCommerce, you can download our app, and then directly within the app with no coding, you can launch a NFT collection for your brand in less than 5 minutes. You really just have to fill out two forms, like what do you want the picture of your NFT to be? What do you want the name? What do you want the description? How much you want it to cost? How many passes do you want available? So you fill out those forms, you launch your NFT, and unlike normal NFTs, which are all hype based, you as a brand get to add e-commerce benefits to your NFT. So in our Nike example, if they launch like a gold, silver, bronze style NFT pass collection, the gold pass holders could get the product A for free, silver pass holders could get product A for 50% off, bronze pass holders could get the product just before everyone else. So you as a brand get to program an e-commerce benefits for your customer. And this ties into our second product, which is SquadX. And that's the first ever blockchain-based ambassador program. So just like Twitter pays its creators from their ad revenue, we pay our community for helping our ecosystem grow from our Reserve X revenue. So let's say hypothetically Nike sells one pass for $100. They have control over 95% of the funds. So since it's on the blockchain, since it's crypto, as soon as someone purchases their pass, they get paid out immediately. And if they're working with like an agency and influencer, they can program in their wallet so everyone gets paid immediately. ShopX earns our money from that 5%. And then half of that 5%, so 2.5%, we share with our community for helping our ecosystem grow. The logic behind this is it's better to give than it's better to give than receive. Plus, this generates a bunch of positivity around our brand. So let's say hypothetically, we're getting more and more brands. ShopX community is getting paid more and more Ethereum. They're getting paid more money, so they're happy. They're posting, they're recommending brands, they're referring us a bunch of brands. We get more and more brands, that's resulting in more and more use for them, which results in more and more posting and just general positivity. So what was taken into account in architecting the system was the power versus force ethos. So in a force relationship, one party wins, one party loses. That makes it unsustainable because eventually the losing parties are like, all right, I'm out. Whereas
mhm.
we're in a powerful relationship, everyone wins. So for the ShopX ecosystem, we're like, who are the players? And can we make it in a way where they all win? So the players for us are ShopX team, the e-commerce brand customer, our community, crypto ecosystem as a whole. So ShopX wins because we earn revenue. The brand wins because they get higher customer conversions. They get revenue, so they're obviously happy. The brand customer wins because they get e-commerce benefits, and if they weren't winning, they wouldn't purchase the pass. The ShopX community wins because they're getting paid Ethereum, and the crypto community ecosystem as a whole wins because we're onboarding people into this space at scale. So that's one of the projects I'm working with, and I'm working on another company called Dataing, which is the first ever AI-powered matchmaker. Do you have any questions about ShopX, or do you want me to dive straight into that?
Um, yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah, right. It's a whole spiel.
I was gonna ask about the NFTs. Can you explain that for people that don't know what NFTs,
Yeah,
the
so I
purpose of NFTs?
yeah, and if you want, I can go over Web 1 versus Web 2 versus Web 3 because it leads into that. And I think that's super helpful.
Okay.
So in Web 1, just think of read only. So if you're on Web 1, you can go online, you can read stuff. Web 2, let's think of social media like Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all that stuff. So you can read and you can write, but you don't own. So an Instagram example, I could write a piece of content, so I could do a post, and then you as a follower or user, you can read my content, you can interact with the content, you can do as you will. But in this case, Instagram owns the content, meaning they could sell your content, they could sell your data, they can cancel you for any reason they want. And
Mm-hmm.
in Web3, it's a read, write, and you can own. So in Web3, you can read
Oh.
content, we can write content, we can own content. And that vehicle is an NFT, which is essentially a non-fungible token, which in layman's terms, that just means it's a piece of digital scarcity on there. And I mean, there's only one person can own one NFT at a time. So in Web3, I could write a NFT collection, so I could create my own content. Let's say
Mm-hmm.
I gift you the NFT, you purchase the NFT, now the NFT is with you. There's now a relationship between me and you. So I'm an expert in e-commerce, so I could add e-commerce value to your pass. But let's say hypothetically I'm an artist, like a sports star. It's like I could add sports value to it. It's like, oh, come to this courtside seat. Or if like I'm a rap or country artist, it's like, okay, there's a connection between me and her. She's a fan. I could send her autograph merch. So there's a connection between me and you. And the cool thing is, once you own the NFT, even though I created it, you own it. So I can't take it away from you. The government can't take it away from you. Amazon or Instagram can't like cancel you and take it back from you. So that's where the old portion comes in. And I'd say I like to joke about Web 4 and Web 5. Web 4, in my opinion, is some like dystopia and just like AR, VR, Web 3, AI, metaverse type thing where everyone's in their goggles. And
Mm-hmm.
I would say Web 5 is everyone had enough of that and they start to go back outside.
But have those terms come out yet? Web 4 and Web 5.
Web 4 is in the process, Web 5 we'll see.
Okay.
So Web 3 is probably like 5 to 10 years away. Web 4, which is like a full metaverse, like AR, VR experience, like perfected, that's probably 15 to 20 years away. Maybe 15.
So Web 3 is not currently active.
So Web 3 is at the very beginning stages, and there are two main reasons it's not currently active. So think of
Mm-hmm.
Web 3 as like a crypto-based internet. The two main reasons that it's not active is the first one is incentives. So for the average user, the average person in the world, there's no real reason for them to have to interact with an NFT or cryptocurrencies. ShopX is obviously trying to help that by onboarding major brands who had e-commerce value to the NFTs to encourage people to interact and purchase NFTs. The second and more important reason is the user interface is just not where it needs to be for mass adoption. Meaning I can't send my grandma and my mother to Web3 and expect them to know what to do. So the cool thing is one of the powers or the strengths of Web3 is it's composable, which is essentially the compound interest of software. And that means once you solve it all builds off each other. So once you solve a problem once, everyone just builds off of that and creates a new solution. So where we're at with Web3 is the major brands like Nike, Sephora's, NBA, like all the major brands, they're dipping their toes in and they think
Mm-hmm.
it's the future, but they just haven't done the full plunge. And once they decide to do the full plunge, they have the incentive and more importantly, they have the resources to create a seamless interface for their customers. Like for example, when Nike goes all in, they can't send their customer base to a terrible user experience. They have to make it nice. And once Nike makes it nice, other companies know how to make it nice. They can copy them. Once Nike makes it nice, like Reebok, Adidas, and all those people, they have to get in too because Nike went in. So it's the classic adoption curve of it's going slow, 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 and all of a sudden it speeds up. And for Web3 to be successful in the end, I mean, people just have to be using it without them knowing that they're using Web3. Like you or my mom would have to take out her phone, the NFT's on her phone. She scans it or something. Claims an e-commerce benefit, but it has to be like tap, tap, tap. She doesn't have to know it's an NFT. She doesn't have to know what's going on in the background. It just has to work. So that's what we're all building towards.
What does NF, is that like an acronym for
It's
NFT?
NFT stands for non-fungible token. So
Non.
it's essentially just like a piece of scarce internet property. So like if you have an NFT, there's only one of them in the world. Just like there's one Mona Lisa, so that's a piece of art in the NFT. If there's an NFT of a Mona Lisa, there'd only be one Mona Lisa NFT.
Okay. And then when you say e-commerce, is that just like purchasing online or?
Yeah, pretty much. It's just electronic commerce. So anytime you purchase online, that's what e-commerce is.
Okay. I'm gaining some knowledge today too.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so you talked about Web3. So let's talk about AI, the future. We are in an AI world now.
Correct.
So what can we expect with AI
So
in the
the thing about AI is I view it as a neutral technology. A lot of people are doom and gloom about it, it's like, oh, it's a Terminator. Whereas I view it as in a positive manner, where I think AI can help a lot of people in a lot of different ways. So if you think of AI at its core, what it is, it's really good at pattern recognition across data sets. So for example, if it had the health medical records of all the humans in the world or all that existed, you'd be like, okay, the people who have these specific traits, whether it be like hair length, color length, whatever you want, whatever it may be, they exhibited this type, they got this type of disease in the future. You may want to do preventative care. So I viewed it in the term in a positive lens. So in terms of the future of AI, we're still all building out, and it's a way for people to leverage their own creativity. In the
Mhm.
sense, if I wanted to, let's say I wanted to start a company now, let's say I'm like, okay, I'm going to start a company. I have no idea what company is. I could say, okay, AI, what are 10 names for this specific company? It'd come up with 10 names. Hey, can you design me 10 logos? Okay, I like logo three. Can you make it a little brighter? Can you make it more friendly? Can you add this? Can you add this? Great, logo's done. Okay, company name is done, logo's done. Now I need to make a website. Oh, I can just use AI to write the code to make a website. Great, website is done. Okay, now I need to send emails, send copy, send all that stuff about my company. Okay, can you write me 50 emails? And then this will A/B test to see which one performs better. So in the past, for me to do all that, I would have to hire a bunch of people to take a bunch of time. But now if
Mhm.
I have an idea in my mind, I can just get it out much quicker. So I think a lot of people's creativity is gonna be unlocked from what's coming from AI. And in terms of AI companies, I do run it's launching soon, but it's called Dating, and that's the first AI-powered matchmaking service. So what that does is it creates a digital profile or dating profile based on your social footprint, and then it'll match you with other users based on your social footprint. And our logic is want to put our users in a position to succeed and match happy couples. So like again, if we're like I could get three matches, Ashley, Kimberly, Jane. I see a brief bio on on Jane. I'm like, okay, Jane seems cool. Tell me more about her. Oh, she's the youngest in her family or the oldest. That usually goes well. Oh, based on her Instagram, she's into national parks. Based on her LinkedIn, she went to a four-year university. Based on her Pinterest, she's into similar stuff as you. Oh, did you know that you on your Spotify, you both follow this one very peculiar artist who's playing a concert next month? Would you like me to suggest a date with Jane? And then it's just a date with Jane, and then we go from there. So that's what I mean by putting our users in the position to succeed. Let's say hypothetically that concert thing didn't come up, but it could still match us because of this. So that could come up organically. And this solves a couple problems in the dating market. So right now, the current dating marketplace is broken. So like let's use Tinder as an example.
Mhm.
Five top 5% get all these get access to all the users on the app, creating a skewed marketplace. It's all physical based too. So it's like hot or not. Do I swipe left? Do I swipe right? And the
Mhm.
biggest issue is the incentive structure of the dating companies. So they're all owned by Match.com. So there's kind of a monopoly. But on top of that, let's say Tinder matches a happy couple. That happy couple then leaves the app. Then Tinder loses the paying customer, thus losing their shareholders' money, which is misaligned with what they do. So that's why people delete the app, download the app, delete the app, download the app again. So that's where we're different. Whereas like we want the longer you're on our app, because let's say the longer you're on our app, the smarter the AI gets, the better it gets at matching you with the users. So for example, let's say it's matching me with a bunch of the same similar people. It's like I say no, 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 no. It's gonna be like, okay, this guy's clearly not into people who are similar with him. Let me try the opposite. And then he'll try a different approach. So you're more likely to get that match.
I was just gonna ask that because some people that have similar hobbies and things, music, they don't match well.
Correct.
Like opposites attract. So with the AI, it'll be able to figure out, okay, well, like you said, they're not doing well with someone that is similar to them, so let's match them with someone different.
Yeah, exactly. And it'll start off based on the collective. I mean, if most people are into someone opposite, or if most people are into someone similar, it'll go with that first, but it'll quickly learn. It's like, no, he's not into that. Let's try something else. And then long term, it can be a community building app too. So it doesn't have to just deal with dating. Where I view
Hmm.
dating as an easy entry marketplace because dating apps do suck. but like it could find me people who are similar to me. It's like find five guys who are into Muay Thai, who like to read, are within 20 miles, who may want to try like this taco place. And then it could help build communities of like-minded individuals that way.
I like that. When that's
Yeah.
supposed to launch?
So right now we have the waitlist live for friends and family. So that's going on now. We're officially launched the waitlist on February 14th. And the reason is we have to get some live data to train the AI first before we start letting in live users. And as we get the waitlist grows, we're gonna slowly bring in users on like a case by case basis. And then eventually we can open up to everyone.
Wow, that's good. Because, like you said, those dating apps,
Oh yeah.
telling you, it's all about physicality
Hot,
and
it's
who.
hot. It's hot or not.
Yeah, and then people lie on their profile.
Yeah, so
Like,
that's why I like having people connect a multitude of data sources. Where like clearly Instagram is like a highlight reel, LinkedIn's like a professional highlight reel. But if you have more sources connect, the app will create a more holistic profile for you based on like the more sources you connect. And on top of that, it'll create the profile for you so no one can lie about the height. The picture you can select as a photo, it has to come from your social media, so you can lie about that, yes. But you have to lie about that on your social media, and that's just an extra layer of protection. Just because I think we've both been on apps where it's like this is just not true. Whereas like this one,
yeah,
it's like it's what you're already saying about yourself on the internet. And we also have a karma system built in place. So like if you're lying, you're ghosting, you're being rude, you're doing all that stuff, you lose karma points. But if you're behaving well, you gain karma points. Obviously, the higher points you have, the better users you get.
wow, that's good. So I think you covered anything you think you missed related to AI and Web3, because you covered most of everything, the backstory of Web3 and the future of it.
No, honestly, just because both companies, I think it's easy to cover because they give a real world use case to use them both, which I think's help people understand what they're there and what they can do.
Yeah, I know. For those of y'all don't know what AI means, it's artificial intelligence, and we encounter that through everyday life. Like if we call a company and we get the recording, those recordings is like they know what you when you say what you want, they connect you to the right person. And what is the history of AI? Like, how do you know how it initially came about?
Yes, I've been working on it for like 10, 15 years, and then I just had the breakthrough with chat AI. So it's kind of in the backgrounds where it's like 10, 15 years, you couldn't really gain access to it, didn't have any real world use, like an everyday user couldn't do that. But with the breakthrough of chat GBT or chat AI is like that was like a year ago. People can now
Mm-hmm.
build on top of that and create their own AIs for different specific use cases. So it was coming for a while, but now it's just kind of gained mainstream adoption and just more people are using it.
Yeah, and it's not just with the chatting now. Like you can actually change your look
Oh yeah.
with the
You,
AI.
you'll be able to do a bunch of stuff.
That's good. Wow. Any more words of wisdom from you, Mr. Eric?
Uh, just a couple like spirituality stuff. I view everything in terms of energy, frequency, vibration. So just like a radio station, you tune to a certain frequency, you go to that radio station. When you're saying you're a certain like I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm joyous, you are just saying you're at a different vibration. So like sad has a different vibration. So if you're sad, you're putting out a frequency. That's why you always attract sad people. If you're positive, loving, you put out that certain frequency, and that's why you attract positive, loving people. So it really does help to have a positive mindset.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of authenticity, I think you're the number one at being you. I'm the number one at being me. I think the creator or God or whoever, whatever universe you want to call it, I think they blessed each individual with specific gifts specific to them with the goal of using those gifts to serve the greater collective. So the best way I can serve the greatest collective is if I follow my intellectual curiosity and use those gifts to serve everyone. And the best way for you to do that is to get to be authentic to your own thing, and because you'll do better if it's something you're generally interested in versus something someone's telling you to do. And lastly, I think everyone's a conscious creator, whether they know it or not. And I like to follow the two rules of don't harm anyone or don't take anything away from anyone, and you're usually good. So it pays to be kind.
Exactly. Kindness goes a
Yeah,
long way.
it's free too. You can always do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, how can we get in contact with you, Mr. Eric?
So if you're interested in ShopX, the best place would be our website, shopx.co. If you're interested in dotting, it'd be dating.io. And for me, if you're just trying to reach out personally, you have any questions or just want to talk, my Instagram is Eric D. Mchugh, ERACDMCHUGH.
All right, and I'll leave that in the details when this episode airs. Thank you, Mr. Eric, and thank y'all to the viewers for tuning in. And if you haven't subscribed to Live Conversations with Dr. Amy, hit that subscribe button, like, share. This is some knowledge we need, y'all. AI and Web3, that's our future. So I hope y'all enjoy and y'all have a nice day. Thank you.